The question asks, if 74.7 grams of manganese dioxide and 48.2 grams of hydrochloric acid react, how many grams of chlorine will be produced, given the following reaction? 1 mole of manganese dioxide reacts with 4 moles of hydrochloric acid, yielding 1 mole of manganese chloride, 1 mole of chlorine, and 2 moles of water. To set up a problem and identify what's given, you're given 2 amounts, an amount of reactant A and an amount of reactant B. And you've got to determine, well, how much chlorine is going to be produced. Let's call that reactant A, reactant B, product C, product D, product E. Well, we have to convert A and B into product D. So we want to take grams of A and convert those to moles of A. We also want to take grams of B and convert that to moles of B. Once we have the mole amounts of both of our reactants, we can use the mole ratio to convert moles of A into moles of C, or actually in this case, D, moles of B into moles of D, using the mole ratio. And the mole ratio, remember, comes from the balanced equation. So let's do it. Start with what you're given. 74.7 grams of MnO2 and 48.2 grams of HCl. Convert both gram amounts into moles. We know that 1 mole of MnO2 add up the total molar mass of 1 Mn, 2 oxygen, and you get 1 mole of MnO2 is equivalent to 86.9 grams of MnO2. 1 mole of HCl is equivalent to 36.5 grams of HCl. Now we have moles. We've gone from grams to moles. Now use a mole ratio to go from moles of one substance to moles of another substance. So we set up a separate conversion factor. The mole ratio, remember, comes from our balanced equation. We have 1 mole of MnO2. We have 1 mole of Cl2. So 1 mole of Cl2 for every 1 mole of MnO2. We have 4 moles of HCl used in the reaction, producing, again, 1 mole of Cl2. We now can determine our mole amounts, and we have 0.860 moles of chlorine produced, and we also have 0.330 moles of chlorine produced. So using this information, if we have 74.7 grams, we will produce 0.860 moles of chlorine. Or we have 48.2 grams of hydrochloric acid, we'll produce 0.330 moles of chlorine. The lesser amount identifies your limiting reagent. The other substance, MnO2, is our excess reagent. Using our limiting reagent, we can determine how much chlorine will be produced. We use the molar mass of chlorine, so 1 mole of Cl2 is equivalent to 71 chlorine, 35.5 times 2 grams of Cl2, and that will be equal to 23.4 grams of chlorine produced in this reaction.